Hey everybody. Welcome into Cincy Stripe Stream number 15, although this will be a little different because it is pre-recorded. Just situations for this week kind of dictated that I had to pre-record and was not going to be able to go live like I normally do. I was kind of holding out hope that I could, and just situations didn't allow it. So, without further ado, let's talk about what this is going to cover. This is going to cover a game against the Ravens. And the Week 18 game against the Ravens. And then we're also going to cover the upcoming wild card game against the Ravens. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Going to go into things recapping the previous game and looking forward and ahead towards this Sunday's game against the Ravens, 8:15. Let's get into it. Alrighty. So, welcome in to Cincy Stripe Stream number 15. And thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have not already subscribed, I would appreciate it. Please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon so that you can get full notifications of whenever videos or Stripe streams or any other stream, things like that, get posted to the channel. Even community posts, I believe, you get notified if you select the full notifications, I believe. Obviously, if you're watching and you like the content, please share the video out on your social media of choice, and definitely hit the like button. It does help YouTube realize that, well, some people like to watch this, and then it tells it to show it to some more people. Helps the channel grow. So, what do we got tonight? Thems be ice cubes that have kind of frozen in place. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Going to go with the Benchmark bourbon again. Going to polish this bottle off here. We got enough. I think we got enough fuel here for a stripe stream. Sure do. Just enough. So, cheers. Tagai. Good stuff. Let's get down to it. So obviously we had a game last Sunday. A lot of controversy around this game, mostly because of the way that the NFL decided to change the rules in season, despite there already being rules in place to handle games that get canceled, which would be just the game is canceled and everything is dictated off of win percentage at that point. For some odd reason, the NFL decided, well, we can't just go by the rules that we already had in place. And so leading into this game, the Bengals knew that they had to handle business against the Ravens so that the next game, very, very likely against the Ravens, would not be decided by a coin flip as far as location. The NFL gifted the Bengals their AFC their first back-to-back AFC North Division title. Of course, the Bengals didn't really celebrate that because it wasn't earned. So anyway, we got into this game, and the game started off really good, right? It started off really good. Burrow and the boys were kind of handling business real well early. And let's see here. I mean, field goal, touchdown, punt, punt, touchdown, and and then the game kind of changed, not necessarily the best possible way. This was a very uneven game. At times, it looked like the Bengals were fired on all cylinders, and at times, it looked like they were stumbling and fumbling. Now, make no mistake, um, the Ravens' defense is a legit defense, and I have heard other. This is going to be the problem because I'm talking about last week's team and technically this coming week's team at the same time. I'm still going to try to keep things in the format that I normally do, but I have heard national pundits, people talking about seeing the Bengals likely, assuming they continue to win, what would be their likely path through the playoffs. A lot of people are talking about that the Ravens defense might be the best defense they see until the Super Bowl, depending on who they see there. I can't terribly disagree, although that doesn't mean that the Bills defense or the Chiefs defense is just, hot garbage or anything. But the Ravens defense is a legit defense. They may not be the 85 Bears, but they are a defense that is, well, they're not pushovers. They're going to make you play hard. They're going to play you hard, and I think we saw that in this game. There was a lot of typical AFC North extracurricular activity going on after the play. I'm sorry, being a Bengals fan, I don't mind calling out my team when they do it, and I'm not going to sit here and say that all the Bengals players were absolute angels and were just perfect, but I saw a lot of dirtiness on the Ravens side. I mean, there was one time I can't remember when it was in the game, they tackled Jamar Chase to the ground, and it almost looked like they were trying to, sorry, twist his head and stuff. After the play, I mean, he's down, like down and still down, and then extra. And then they call, BS roughing the passer penalty on Hendrickson, but they don't call it on the Ravens when two defensive linemen land on top of Burrow. Well, I thought that wasn't okay. So I don't know. It just did feel like the refs were, I don't know, maybe the D team, because they weren't doing a very good job of calling a fairly even game. Although it didn't matter. The Bengals did pull it out 27-16, got up to that 27 lead fairly early, and then, of course, the Ravens start trying to make some hay, and Bengals held them off, kept them from really, getting there. And but the defense, Bengals defense, had a great day. I mean, they were making turnovers happen. A couple picks, I think a couple fumbles. I think two fumbles. I'm not 100%. I can't remember for sure. Let's see. And then a turnover on downs, by the way, which is great. Yeah, interception, turnover on downs. Another turnover on downs and a fumble. Yeah. Okay. So, defense made hay. Offense did enough. But it was not the prettiest game. And it definitely wasn't the game that makes you kind of feel warm and fuzzy knowing that Tyler Huntley, not Anthony Brown, is going to start this weekend. Of course, a lot of us were wondering if, is Lamar going to play? And, well, Lamar pretty much burst that bubble. I'm sure to the absolute delight of his coach and team when he went out on social media on his own. And understandably, I guess, there's a lot of drama with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens right now with the contract situation, things like that. I guess he wanted to make sure he put it out there that saying in a way that he's still definitely hurt. He's definitely not sleeping or, quiet quitting is the new hot term that the kids like to use these days. He's not protesting. He's not, oops, I'm hurt, Also, my pocketbook or my checking account isn't very fat. So So it's pretty clear, you know, we had Anthony Brown to deal with, and there's a reason why he's third string, and nothing against him. I mean, he didn't play for being a guy who doesn't play much at all. I mean, he did some things okay. It's not like he was totally atrocious. I mean, he's definitely not a starter and barely a backup, but he could have handed our defense a heck of a lot more. So, the offense was up and down. Unfortunately, Alex Kappa went down. That's a big one. That hurt. Adeniji did a decent job. I'm not saying he was specifically La'el Collins level, but he might have been close to La'el Collins level as far as injured La'el Collins that we've been seeing most of the year. Is he as good as healthy La'el Collins? No, I don't believe so. But with Max Sharping coming in replace of Kappa, bit bumpy, but overall not too shabby. And of course, with a full week of practice, preparing to start, I expect that to look a little better this week. So defense balled out hard. They were great. Offense was started good and then sputtered. And I have a feeling. I noticed that the Bengals just looked like they were. They just looked like they were playing very vanilla, very safe, very protected. You know, they're just going out with a limited number of plays and they're just going to make that work. I'm sure the Ravens did the same, by the way. Both teams knew that there was a high likelihood that they would play each other again the next week. The problem with that is the Ravens knew it, and yeah, sure, it'd be nice to snag the victory, but if they snag the victory, they still have only a coin toss chance of hosting the game at home. They still can't get the AFC North division title. So the Bengals had more to play for than the Ravens did, and the Ravens acted like it. They sat certain people who maybe could use the extra week to get healthy. They didn't play Tyler Huntley. Kevin Zeitler was sat. A few others were sat. And so the Ravens are probably going to play virtually everybody they can get on the field this Sunday. So I do expect it to be a little different. But I expect the Bengals to play a little different. I guess, see, this is the hard part. It's so hard to talk about when you're playing the same team 2 weeks in a row. I'm still bouncing around, and I'm trying really hard not to. Anyway, so John Harbaugh does his typical whining and crying on the sideline about how, oh, I can't believe you called this on one of my guys, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. There's times when I don't even know why he's mad. I can't even tell. It looks like it's benefiting his team. But it was just a really weirdly ugly game for both teams, but oddly on offense for the Bengals, it got there. It didn't start there, but it kind of became just a weird sputtering thing. And it's just one of those games that it's so hard to take a lot from this game because both teams were protecting, kind of holding their cards close to the chest, and not really wanting to show anything to the other team. What was it on Locked On Bengals, where they bring in Bengal Sands, Mike Santagata, and he does a lot of like film breakdown stuff, and so they talk to him like midweek, and he was talking about it looked like they almost went back to running the same offense they did when they played them in week 5, or was it 5? I think it was week 5. I can't remember. 5 or 6, something like that. And that kind of makes sense. It's like, even though they can see on film what the Bengals have been doing since, don't actually let them show it and experience it and see it firsthand. So that way they're still not sure what it looks like, because they see film one way, but then of course when you're on the field, you're looking around, you're looking across at other guys. Bird's eye view versus first person view. Um, so let's talk about Drew Chrisman had he really he did he continues to be really good at punting, and not only punting but getting it to hit, getting it to hit out of bounds at just the right spot, really pinning the other team back. It's excellent stuff. Really like it. Jamar was still awesome, even though the offense sputtered. I mean, he's really, I mean, he was kind of the big reason why the game really went the way it went. Um, what else? Well, there was a lot of there was there was two kinds of trolling. You had the Eli Apple ran around with after the game was over. He ran around. Somebody had made like a coin sign with Roger Goodell's face on it with like a clown nose, if I remember correctly. And then Joe Mixon did the coin flip celebration, and of course he got fined for it. He's going to appeal it, and but that the problem is there's that's the highlights really, and there's not a lot of highlights, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I mean, the Kappa injuries concerning. Burrow did have to make some heroic maneuvers to get out of the pocket that was collapsing in on him a few times. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. This team does do well from learning and adjusting. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how things go on Sunday evening. So normal is the part of the show where I talk about, hey, drop your comments and ask questions and stuff. But I do still want you to drop comments and ask questions. Just do it in the comment section. I will get back to you. Like I said, I apologize. That's not my intention to not stream. But this week just didn't allow for it. And it's going to be interesting because it's going to be interesting to see how this does versus a live stream. Because my live stream, sometimes they get traction, sometimes they don't. Rarely do I get a lot of traction while I'm streaming. Of course, I get some later. But a lot of times when I quote unquote copy them, and this is the way YouTube does things, when I basically take the live stream and just put it as a regular video and just like copy it over as a regular video, it gets more views. So it's almost like the YouTube algorithm doesn't push live videos as well as it does my regular videos. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Kind of a impromptu happy accident experiment. So getting into the upcoming game, which is also against the Ravens. So it has been announced Tyler Huntley will start. Lamar Jackson's out. He announced it. Lamar did on his social media. I'm sure that his coach is thrilled. I'm sure Harbaugh is just absolutely thrilled that he went out and announced it himself, because it really does take the air out of the balloon and now make sure that the Bengals do not have to prepare for Lamar. He's out. Now they only have to prepare for Tyler Huntley, who is, is a capable quarterback and can't be overlooked. You can't overlook any quarterback in the league. But he does not force a defense to prepare the way Lamar Jackson does. That doesn't mean I think Lamar Jackson's the greatest quarterback in history, but he definitely makes you have to prepare. And if you don't prepare, he'll shred you. He's done it many times over the years. So now they know it's going to be Tyler Huntley at best, Anthony Brown again at worst, very likely Tyler Huntley. Ravens are going to be at as full a strength as they can muster as far as starters starting and playing. So I do expect this game to be different, but there's a part of me that I feel like I was a week early. In my last live stream with Tyler, I think I said something to the effect of I feel like the Bengals are going to wake up and choose violence. I didn't think about the fact that, well, why would they? They're going to protect themselves, not show too much because they're probably going to play the Ravens again. And I think I was a week early because I definitely think they are going to wake up and choose violence this weekend. And it would make more sense to do so now. Gloves are off. It is the playoffs. Lose and go home. You know, uh as Woody Harrelson says in Zombieland, time to nut up or shut up. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to come out and give both barrels to the Ravens in a way that they're not prepared for, not expecting, and show them that, yeah, they only looked wounded last week. They weren't. I feel like they are going to absolutely go out and make a statement of the Ravens. I know the line is like 9.5. I'm going to go a full 2-touchdown lead. 28-14. That's what I think. Could be higher than that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything, but I do think it's going to be a clear victory over the Ravens. I think they're going to clearly put the Ravens in their place and send them home. And they're going to live to play another weekend and move on to the next round, the divisional round. So that's what I think. I think 28-14. That's what I'm going with. And looking forward to watching on Sunday night. I hope you are too. Please, 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 you know, leave comments, ask questions. I will get to you. I do get the notifications, and I'll be happy to respond and things like that. Again, my apologies for not doing live. It just didn't work out this week, and it wasn't really thrilled about it. But I'm making do with the best I can. So anyway, going forward, I should be back live next weekend. Regardless of the outcome, I'll be live next weekend. And then I'm going to be working on putting the Bengals content on its own channel at some point here soon. Kind of do maybe a soft transfer over, try to build the channel a little bit that way. But most of the information for that channel is going to still come through the main Way of the Dad social media. I'll just point you in the direction of that channel when it comes on. I'm not going to sit here and create a whole nother set of social media accounts right now. Down the road, if it grows to be something, then we'll talk about that later. But right now, I'm already dealing with enough social media accounts as it is. So, but that's what I think. 28-14. Bengals win. Ravens go home. Bengals move on to the divisional round. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. If you got questions or you think I got this totally wrong or I'm totally missing something, let me know and we'll get down to it. Anyway, until next time, Who-Dey. Take care and have a great day.